On behalf of XSITE Capital, my name is Tenny, one of the co-founder and director of acquisition. And on behalf of the entire team, I have my co-founder, Leslie Awasam. Our other co-founder, Julius, who is our CEO, is unfortunately not here. And then the XSITE Capital team, they're all behind the scene right now, making sure everything is working the way it should. We had David Nigel scheduled to be here today. Unfortunately, his team reached out to us. I'm not sure if you all know who David Nigel is. He's one of the one renowned personal development speaker in the United States, and Leslie happened to be one of his students. Leslie has actually, gone immersely into his program and learned a lot about him. And we thought he should be a great speaker, especially in this time of fear in our economy and in the world in general. So we reached out to him. He agreed for him to be here, but unfortunately he's sick right now. So they reached out to us last minute saying he cannot come. So in our team, we said instead of us to cancel this meeting, I think we need to get somebody else to talk. And who is better to speak about the topic of fortifying your mind and thriving in changing times than Leslie Awasam. So Leslie's been a student of David Nigel, and he's been a student of a lot of great minds when it comes to personal development. And we thought about him being the keynote speaker today. Now, if you don't know Leslie, I'm going to do a quick introduction and I'll let him take over. Leslie is one of the co-founders of XSITE Capital. He's one of the engines of XSITE Capital. And he basically handles the whole operations of XSITE Capital in the back end. When it comes to personal development, we call him the sensei. What does it means that he basically see things in advance and then he brings it to the attention of the team and we try to follow a lot of his lead. When it comes to reading, personal development, books, podcasts, he basically lead that chart in XSITE Capital. And when you think about it, the concept of grow your mind and grow your wealth, Leslie, he lives that every single day. Now, without further ado, I'd like Leslie, please take over the floor and then the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, my brother and partner in growth, Mr. Tenny Tolofari. Thank you guys so much. Thank you everybody for taking the time this evening to join us in this meetup. I am Leslie Awasum, Director of Operations and co-founder at XSITE Capital. And today my partners are pushing me to fill some very big shoes here. Mr. David Nigel is it's somebody that I admire, that I've learned from, and is somebody with a very great reputation in the space of personal development. It's somebody that is able to explain some very, very deep and deep concepts that are made complicated by most people in ways that I could understand. I came across David Nigel's work about 2 years ago. And I immersed myself into the work, and the result is in some of the growth that we're seeing in our company. And I constantly share the stuff that we learned from David Nigel with my partners, and that has helped us tremendously in our growth to where we are on this point. So coming into this situation in the economy, where all we hear today is about everything that's about to happen, everything that's going bad, and which is all part of the cycles that the US economy go into. Scaling back a little bit, in 2008, I was a newly graduated nurse from school, started my career at Johns Hopkins here in Baltimore. And I remember when the 2008 crash happened, when the recession of 2008 started. And all I could hear in the news was how bad the economy is, how bad things are going. The housing market is never coming back. Things are going this horrible. And I remember some friends of mine reached out to me and wanted me to look into investing in real estate. Here in Maryland, at that point in time, there was one area in Langley Park where my sister owned a condo over there, and everything was going to foreclose, and condos were selling over there for $10,000, believe it or not, cash payment. But carried away by the negative news and the fear and everything that was going on in that point in time, even though I had the money to go and buy a property like that, I could not pull myself to go to it because I got carried away in all that noise of how bad things are going, or where things are going, or where things are going wrong. Now, looking back, And as we came on along this journey with XSITE Capital to grow and to share the growth with others, looking back at that point in time, I asked myself, oh, what do the people that took advantage of that period of time, what could they see that most of the world cannot see? I've grown to learn that success, a good part of success, depends on the lens by which you see the world. A great portion of your success is dependent solely on the lens by which you see the world. Because in the same world that we live in, thousands of people can see doom and gloom, while the other thousands of people are seeing opportunities. Now you got to ask yourself the question, what do you see? Like the same road that I travel to work with every day, I see different things than what I used to see 10 years ago. What has changed during that period of time? The thing that has changed is in the mindset. And my goal today is to share with you some of the simple principles that we've learned along the way that has helped us tremendously to have this expanded mindset, to have this mindset of growth, to be able to see opportunities in a lot of the things that we do. And for us to be able to build this company, this platform that we've built to where it's at today, and that we're welcoming you all to join us today. So I'm going to go through the slides and just talk along and explain some of the concepts that we've learned along the way. Again, the topic for today is the strategies that you can use to fortify your mindset and to thrive in these changing times.
And if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to drop it down there. And Leslie is going to make sure he addresses all of them within or after the presentation.
The recession is coming. Oh, it's here, depending on who you ask. You cannot read any news article. You cannot listen to TV for more than network news TV for more than 30 minutes without hearing something about the recession, without hearing something about inflation, without hearing something about interest rates. It's all over. It's all here. You know, we're starting to hear about people losing their jobs. We're starting to hear about a company doing layoffs, and all this news. It's here. So as an individual now in the society, what are you to do, right? Some economists have been calling for very challenging times ahead. The Federal Reserve is not helping. Every time Jerome Powell goes up to increase the interest rates, he makes us know that there's a lot of pain ahead, right? And so what are we to do? What are we to do? Are we to sit back in this climate of doom and gloom and fear and not do anything? Are we just to lock up and prepare for the doom and gloom and hope that we don't die along the process? Now, all this negative news, there's an intention behind the negative news. Now, the US economy has been on a growth spread over the last few years, and because of this growth, it has led to inflation, coupled with a bunch of other things that happened with the supply chain network. Now, the Federal Reserve is trying to slow this down using both psychological tools and using some of the tools they have in their arsenal by putting this out there. Now, it's easy for us to get carried away in this fear, and then we lose sight of the opportunities that present themselves during this period of time. Now, if we focus our attention on listening to all the negativity that's happening, we miss out on the opportunities that also come out during this period of time. Like Warren Buffett says in a commonly quoted statement, one of the best times to buy is when there's blood on the street. And one of the reasons for that is because when there is blood on the streets, that's when everybody runs away, wants to hold on, wants to hide away from that fear and not able to see the opportunities that are coming along. Now, when you know that there are opportunities, when you're going into this season of fear, of gloom, when you're going into this season with the lens that this is a season of opportunity, you're opening up your mind to be able to see those opportunities as they come. And the recession or the jobs that people are going to lose, or maybe drop in income that people are going to use, those things are real. I'm not here to tell you that there's no recession that is coming in a few months. I'm not here to tell you that interest rates are not high, and if you are going to buy a house right now, your mortgage are going to be higher than it was 6 months ago. No, all those things are real. But the question you got to ask yourself is, what can you do in that moment, despite all the real things that are happening? Where are the opportunities that lie ahead? And some of the greatest companies that we know today took advantage of some of these periods of time and created multi-billion-dollar companies. This is not an exhaustive list, but these are some examples of some of the great companies that were built during recessions, from Microsoft to Electronic Arts to iRobot, Airbnb, Slack, WhatsApp, Square, Uber, Instagram, Pinterest. As you can see in the dates, these companies all got started during this time, during these challenging times. So in challenging times, those are some of the moments that you could take advantage and be able to get great opportunities to start a business, to hire more great talent for your business. Now, why others are looking at this like a lot of people are losing their jobs, as a business owner, if you are one, this might be an opportunity for you to hire talent at a much affordable rate. While others are looking at this as this is a period that you're losing, from your perspective, someone that loses the job, you can look at it from the lens of, this is an opportunity for me to start something new, to learn a new skill, to take advantage of the new economy, the changes that are happening. Because after every recession, there's always a period of growth. So you want to prepare yourself to be taking advantage of that period of growth. In real estate, as I illustrated in my example back in 2008, some of the investors that got into the market in 2008 are millionaires now. They made millions of dollars from some of the buys that they did back in 2008. While some of us at that period of time that were cowered away by the fear of everything that is happening and believing that the market is never coming back, you know, we are playing catch up. We are playing catch up. So the goal of tonight is that everybody on this call, we could learn some simple tools that we could start using to fortify our mindset so we could see the opportunities that actually present themselves during these challenging times. One of our other mentors, Mr. Tony Robbins himself, says it very succinctly. Success is 80% psychology and 20% skill. Again, I'm going to repeat this. The formula to success is 80% psychology and 20% skill. Most of you here are very, very intelligent, very, very successful in your respective careers. Like most people in our community, we are accomplished in our respective academic fields, in our respective careers. But despite all that intelligence, despite all that hard work that we put in to get to the places that we are, have we ever sat back and asked ourselves is like, why is our success limited to a certain level, while others that may not even have the same amount of education, that may not even have, that may not put in the same amount of hard work that we put in, own most of the economy and are thriving, own some of the largest businesses? Like, we can count the number of businesses that were started by college dropouts. When I got into the real estate industry, back in when I got into the real estate industry back in 2016 and decided to face all my fears and start investing in real estate, I remember I went to my very first meetup, and I met this gentleman who was very, very learned, but he dropped out of school. He dropped out of high school, and he owned about $16 million worth of assets. He was worth $16 million at that period of time. But he told me one struggle that he had. He could not spell. He could not spell very well. And I remember leaving that room and sitting in my car and asking myself, like, what did I do wrong? Like, with all the education that I have, with all the hard work that I've put in, why am I still in this position? I am bogged down. At that point, I was bogged down in student loans. I had a good job that was paying for me, but I had to go to that job every single day, work extra hours so that I'm able to provide the life for my family that I needed. And the piece that was missing at that period of time was that psychology. We all have 24 hours in the same day. How come in those same 24 hours, some people are able to create results that are worth billions of dollars, while others are able to create results that are just worth $10? It's all in the psychology. It's all in the lens by which we view the world. If we get up every day looking at the world as a place of opportunity, as a place, and we look at the fellow human being as somebody that I could provide value to, like, we understand that the path to growth is by providing value to others, right? That opens up your mind to be able to look at the world from a perspective of attracting opportunity. That opens up your mind to be able to see the value in the next person that you're meeting, rather than looking at somebody from a place of suspicion, a place of fear. Like, this is somebody I cannot work with, or you create all these stereotypes about different groups, create stereotypes about this person. And before you even meet somebody along the way, you already have a judgment about who they are, what they are, and not even giving them an opportunity to get to know them. And you never know the people that you're meeting along the way that could help you along your path for growth. So it's that psychological piece. Most of us sitting here on this call today, like I mentioned before, are learned. It's not the skill. The skill that we need to build a business, that can be learned by almost believe everybody in this call is intelligent enough to learn the skill that is needed to grow the business. But you could have all the skill you want. If you do not have the right psychology, you're still going to struggle in business. And this holds true in a lot of ways. I know some of you have also heard about the 80-20 rule, where you get 80% of the results from 20% of your action. This also happens to success. Psychology accounts for, I do agree with Tony Robbins that success is 80% psychology and 20% skill. Our growth here at XSITE Capital, from having 0 of assets under management to today, about to close the year with $167 million of assets under management, it's highly due to the growth in our mindsets and our psychologies. Because respectively, as individuals, our co-founders, we all had success in our respective fields. But the whole idea of going and buying a $1 million property, a $20 million property, was something that was very, very foreign to us until we started working on our psychology, on our mindset, and having that belief that these asset class too, we too can participate, and we could bring this to our community and teach our community how to participate as well. Now, I'm not sure, Mouse, I'm not sure what's going on with the slide here. So now, give me a second, guys. Technical difficulties here.
Let's see goal settings.
Okay. There we go. So now, instead of us worrying about what we can't control, we got to shift our energy to what we can create. There are a lot of things that are happening around us, around the economy. We cannot control what the Fed is doing on the interest rates. We cannot control what will happen with inflation. We cannot really control what will happen in the economy, but we can control what will happen with our own economy. We can control what we'll do about it. So we can control what we'll do about it, and we control it. We control what we do about it. Give me a second, guys. Tenny, can you see this on the screen?
Yeah, I can see the yellow lines.
Yes.
And when you stop and we share it, it goes away. When it comes back, right
So
back
somebody
up.
keeps interrupting our presentation and adding yellow lines to it. I'm not sure how somebody's able to get access to it, but can we fix that, please?
Let me see if we can share from my end.
So we control our perspective by controlling our thoughts. You don't dwell on the negative thoughts about the economy, because this will only hinder your ability to thrive. You focus on what you can control in your life, such as your own spending and your own saving habits. You stay positive and optimistic even when things are tough. Network with others, share ideas, find supporting groups during these challenging times. Be part of communities like this, where we are talking about how we could thrive during these challenging times instead of finding a little closet to hide in. So the more you surround yourself with the people that are doing the things that will move you forward, the more you're able to see that as a possibility for you. Believe in yourself and your ability to succeed no matter what the economy throws at you. That's innate belief, that faith within yourself is the driving force that's going to push you to take action. Success is a combination, whatever growth that you have in life is a combination of desire and expectations. You got to desire whatever it is that you want, and you got to expect the good results from that desire. And the way you prove your expectation is by taking action towards that. It's very easy for us to come up with concepts and say, hey, I want to start a multifamily business. I want to do this. And then we focus our time and energy in imagining how we're going to do that, the challenges that we're going to face along the way, instead of start taking action. You got to start with faith, take massive action towards your goals, and believe that you're going to get to those goals as you take action. And when you start taking action towards your goals, you start meeting, doors start opening for you. You start meeting the people that will help you in accomplishing those goals. And you start seeing the results that are coming towards your way. Some strategies that are very, very powerful that have really helped us, that helps you in giving you that lens that you're able to see the world from a perspective of positivity, from a perspective of opportunity. It's number one on my list really is gratitude. You have to implement a daily practice of intentional gratitude. You have to implement an intentional practice of daily gratitude. Gratitude has been described by many texts, even from religious to scientist texts, as a very, it actually lowers your blood pressure. It has like changes in your EEG when monitored, people that practice intentional gratitude. But I know in this world of mindset, or in this world of growth, or like personal development, you hear a lot of things about different strategies, gratitude, and all of this stuff. But what I want you to understand is what all that really does to you is just to clean up your lens in the way you see the world. There's no magic to any of this. I know there's a lot of magical thinking that talks about you could do this and things start appearing, but all that does, because if you think about it, it doesn't matter whatever goal you have.
Oh, sorry to interrupt, but Chris Scott is being so rude in the chat.
I think somebody kind of had Chris Scott, because I know Chris Scott personally, and I don't think that he will be the one. But
let me see.
Can we kick him out, please?
Yeah, let me look at that real quick. Thank you so much for bringing that up.
Yeah, please kick out whoever is representing as Chris Scott. Chris Scott is somebody that I know very personally, and I don't think he will be doing something like that. As a matter of fact, Chris Scott is one of those guys that when I started up on this journey, I met him as a colleague at work, and he was one of the guys that guided me towards the right path and said, go and read this book, and it's going to help to grow your mind. So I do apologize to anybody that whoever is hacking into the system is using this to disrupt, but I don't believe it's Chris Scott. It's somebody that I could vouch for sure.
All right, thank you so much, man.
You're welcome. Thank you for bringing that to our attention. So gratitude, you start your day with gratitude. If you're grateful for the opportunities that you're surrounded by, the more you'll be able to see those opportunities. If you get up in the morning with disgust to everything that is happening to you, the more disgust you see on your daily journey. I know there's a common example that is usually given when you buy a red car, for example, or red Toyota Camry. All of a sudden you start seeing a lot of red Toyota Camrys on the street. So it's kind of the same concept. It's like training your mind to see what you need to move you forward. So a daily practice of gratitude helps you in clearing that lens and giving you a more brighter perspective to be able to see the world as a place full of opportunities, to see the people that you interact with as people that you could gain a lot of value for. Your attitude is everything. The attitude that you take in everything you do determines the results that you get. When I talk about this word gratitude, attitude, I'm reminded of one of our team members who is on the call today, Mr. Miles Hill. Everywhere he works in, he has this positive energy, this big smile on his face. And you can't say no to Miles because of his attitude. The right attitude in this climate will get you anywhere. I know it's very easy to get carried away in the negativity and the sadness and let that and determine how you carry your day. but go out in the world with a positive attitude, embrace whatever challenges that come in your way, and know that you could overcome it. Because the better of an attitude that you have when you're interacting with people, the more people want to interact with you. And everything that you want, every goal that you want is going to come through people, right? If your goal is financial, money is just a representation of value, and that value is based on the exchange that you have with fellow human beings. So if you're having a great attitude, you pretty much are already increasing your value to the world. So that is one key attitude to embrace. Embrace your authenticity as well. I know there's a temptation to want to copy, to want to do what everybody else is doing. And a lot of times it's based out of insecurity. We are afraid to believe that we have that power within us to be able to be of value to the world. So we want to listen to somebody else that probably has had some success by being themselves, and we want to copy that. That can only get you but so far. At some point, you got to get back, reconnect to your own authenticity, and know that as a human being, you have a tremendous amount of value to give to people. Be authentic and bring that value to the world. I have no doubt that everybody on this call has a tremendous amount of value to give to each other. Forgiveness, like gratitude, forgiveness is another powerful skill to embark upon. It's easy to walk around in the day and somebody pisses you off right outside your house, and you jump up and start cursing them out. And right in that moment, you get carried away in that negative set of emotion. And then the next person might even say hi to you and you curse them out. And that just goes down a downward spiral. And you might miss an opportunity by doing that, right? And the longer we carry negativity from other people, we're not really punishing those people. At the end of the day, we're punishing ourselves. This is one thing, one skill that I learned, and it helped us out tremendously. Whatever negative encounter you have during the day, let it go. Let it go so you could clear your mind to be able to see the positivity that we're surrounded with in this world. The more negativity you carry, the more you'll be able to see, to want to expect that negativity from other people. So you forgive, intentional forgiveness, forgive whatever negative experience or whatever negative history that you have, so that you're able to live and see the beauty that is in the world. Dare to make mistakes. Again, one of the main reasons why a lot of people do not go out there and try things is because they're so afraid of failure. I was a victim to this. In my career as a nurse anesthetist, we are trained to prepare for everything that could go wrong so that nothing can go wrong during surgery. Because if something goes wrong, somebody can die. And with that kind of a mindset, when I took that kind of a mindset and I came into the entrepreneurial world, I found myself spending so much time worrying about everything that will go wrong, every single scenario that might go wrong. And I'm so afraid to fail. It's like there's a common phrase that failure is not an option. No, I challenge you to say that failure is part of the process. Failure is just a step along the way. Do not be afraid to try things. When you fail, the lessons you learn from your failure are going to move you towards the next direction. The person who has never failed is the person who has never challenged themselves. So dare to make mistakes, dare to fail, and you will find that some of the things that you consider failure actually end up in the long run being like a tremendous amount of success. And be of service. Give, give, give. That is one of our key values here at XSITE Capital. And that is one of the key core values that has actually brought us the greatest amount of returns than anything else. Like I mentioned earlier, whatever financial goals you have, whatever goals you have in this world is going to come through people, right? Money is just a representation of value, and that value is based on the exchange on other human beings. The more value you give to people, the more you elevate your own value on yourself. Right? We go under the temptation of thinking that by doing something, I want to see an immediate return. I want to see, by doing you a favor, I want to get some money back from you. But what we have learned is some of the people that we've given value to, a year or two later, those people bring us back a higher amount of value than what we actually expected, right? I challenge you to go out there with the attitude of giving. I'm not saying that go take all the money out of your account and give it to somebody. It doesn't have to be financial giving. A lot of you here have a tremendous amount of knowledge in your respective fields, and there are a ton of people that want to gain access to that knowledge. Use that as part of your growth journey, give value to others, exchange the value with others. In this community, we could be a community where we exchange value to each other. And that is how we're able to grow as a community. And another key principle to always have is humility. It doesn't matter how much you grow, how much success you have. It's always important to be humble. If not, life will humble you very quickly. You know, again, it's understanding to celebrate, live your success, dream big, do not be humble in your goals, because whatever desires that you have, it's already here, you can achieve it. Go big, because the only way you're able to achieve those big goals is by able to give a tremendous amount of value, to have a tremendous amount of contribution to the world. So, but remain humble, and understand that at the end of the day, we are all just humans, and we all can make mistakes. Because the moment you lose that humility, the moment you feel you stop to learn. When you remain humble, you understand that there's always more to learn. There's always, you could always learn from the next person, right? It doesn't matter who the person is. And the more you opening up your mind to more knowledge. Again, this is all about growing your mind. And the more you grow your mind, the more you're able to grow your world, the more you're able to grow your value to society. So implementing all these strategies that I'm mentioning here today are all strategies that would help you clear your lens, give you a better perspective to be able to see opportunity in the world. And a lot of these strategies are things that I've learned from our presenter that was supposed to be here today, Mr. David Nigo. And he explains this in such a simple way that could make you be able to see things in a much beautiful way than you ever thought before. I highly encourage you guys all to engage with his content as well. He does have a podcast, which is called the Successful Mind Podcast. It's available on all the podcast platform. Listen to it, and if it makes sense to you, you dig down deep. If not, that's okay as well. We're probably going to try to have him again sometime in February per the word from his team. Now that you have a clearer lens, a clearer vision, what is next? You got to set a goal. You can't just go about clearing your lens and going in multiple different directions. You got to set a goal. That goal becomes your compass, your map, where you're going to go, right? And the temptation when we're setting goals is to set goals that we could see. You got to set goals that stretch you, goals that make you grow, that push you from where you are to become somebody that is bigger than where you are. One of our other mentors, Mr. Jim Rome, said the purpose of a goal is not for you to achieve it. The purpose of a goal for you to grow to become someone that is worth achieving that goal, because that person never goes away. The growth that you get in this journey never goes away, right? That is why it's very common in our society to see people that have maybe achieved a tremendous amount of success fall to zero, and a few years later, we hear that they're back to that level of success, because that growth has happened along the way. To be able to accomplish that growth, to be able to accomplish that goal, they've grown to become somebody else. And that person remains there. And it doesn't matter what the results are later on, they'll be able to grow themselves back to that level. So you got to develop consistency when you set a goal. You set a big goal. What's next? When you set your goal, you reverse engineer your goal to like daily steps, right? You don't want to worry about the end, worry about the next step, right? It's very common, especially towards the end of the year or beginning of the year, for most of us to set very nice and ambitious goals, and we get excited. And for the first 2 months, we go in, pum, 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 pum. And then before that, we slow down. We start, the mind starts coming up with all kinds of excuses of, oh, this came up, this family member or that. And then you stop along the way and say, I'm going to get back to it. It's a very good example. When we started XSITE Capital, one of the things we did was to go to different seminars to learn how to manage a multifamily, like a private equity group. So, and in a lot of the seminars we went to, we had hundreds of people at some point. And when we look back to some of those classes, there are very few people that took action consistently. There are a lot of people that took action for like 3 months and then they gave up. Something else came up. You might set your goal that you want to get into multifamily and acquire 200 units, right? Then 3 months down your road, a friend tells you about a flip or about a wholesale. And you say, you know what, let me stop my multifamily business and focus on the wholesale again for a little bit. You know, then I'll get back to Airbnb, and then you get back to the goal. Now you're losing that consistency. Now there's a lot of things that you could do. There are a lot of shiny objects that you could go after here in the US. We are blessed to be in this wonderful country full of opportunity. So there's so many opportunities that you go after, but you got to choose what your path is. You got to stay consistent on your path. Consistent daily action will beat intensity any single day. All it takes is 3 daily action towards your goals. 3 small daily action towards your goals. What I'm explaining to you is exactly what we did. At no point in our journey has a day ever passed by where we haven't done something towards our business. Actually, this Thanksgiving was the first time that I actually had to shut down my phones and my computer and spend full time with family and not worry about business. And it felt good. But I was able to do that because we had put in the work up front, the consistent work and effort up front. So once you set your goal, you reverse engineer your goals to daily actions and stop worrying about the goal. Focus on those actions and take those daily steps, incremental improvements. Fight your emotions. Fight your emotions. The emotions will come along the way. Along this journey, we've learned about an important part of the human being. That's the subconscious mind. And one of the principles that I learned from David Nagel is your subconscious mind. One of the roles of your subconscious mind is to keep you safe. And he has this statement when he says that the subconscious mind is very insidious. And that is very true. Your subconscious mind will do everything to keep you safe because that is its role. And everything I mean by coming up with the best of reasons and excuses why you shouldn't continue. And I never really know that existed until I studied under David Nagel. And now I could see it in myself and I could see it in people so blatantly, right? Now, from that lens, I could see the excuses start coming. It's like you want to do something, then it's like the next thing happened. And you're like, oh my God, yeah, this just happened. I'm going to stop and do this and do that. So remember this statement. Whatever excuse you have, your excuses are real. Whatever excuses that come up along the journey, they are real. Whether somebody died or you don't have enough money, or all those things are real. But you have to ask yourself this question. Do you want your excuses or you want progress? You cannot have both. So you got to ask yourself this question. Do you want excuses or you want progress? You can't get it both ways. And if you want progress, you're going to keep going despite the excuses, despite whatever thing happened. Because once you push through, especially when you start experiencing that fear coming in, it means you are about to step from your level of comfort to a different level of growth. Push through it. This principle alone has helped us tremendously in our growth. To this point where right now, when we feel something, when that excuse starts coming, we're able to identify it and we start smiling and we start laughing because we know growth is about to come. And every time we've pushed through it, every time we push against that excuse barrier, a tremendous opportunity has opened up in front of us. Another door has opened up in front of us. So when you feel that fear, go through it. When you feel that emotion, recognize it and understand that this might be your mind trying to keep you in a safe place. Push through it. And I promise you, you're going to see a different level of growth on the other side. And failures are part of the journey. Like I said, failure is not an end, it's not a stop point, it's not a judgment point. Failure is just another step on the journey like success. When the failure comes, you look at it, you learn from it, and you move forward. Sometimes failures come along the way to redirect you to another path that might open more opportunity for you. I remember when we started, and we failed at raising for one of our deals. And one of the things that we came back and we started talking about, Tenny and I, initially it was Tenny and I at that point in time. And we were debriefing and asking ourselves, okay, this is the failure. Okay, this is what happened. This is what happened. What can we do? Like, what can we do differently to move forward? And during that conversation, I told Tenny, I work at a hospital with this amazing orthopedic surgeon. I've been trying to reach out to him to tell him about this amazing stuff that we're doing, but he's been pushing it away. I think he thinks it's some kind of a Ponzi scheme or a scam. And we actually practiced on how we're going back to go and pitch our CEO, Dr. Julius, about multifamily investing. And because of that failure, because we're able to sit down and take that time to go back, I was able to go back to Dr. Oni, and a few months later, he came on board and became our partner, and the story of XSITE changed right there. You know, so that failure, we could have taken it as a sign that, oh, this is not for us. We'll back down and do something else. Or we could have taken it as a sign and said, maybe we should look at Airbnb, or maybe we should go do a flip, you know, but we understood, because of this mindset lessons that we've learned along our journey, that this is just part of the journey. We did not let it stop us, and we kept moving forward. So as you embark on this journey of growth, especially coming into these times that we're going into and the challenges in the economy, you're going to have some challenges along the way, but do not let the challenges stop you. Remember, it's just part of the process. And remember, you can either choose your excuses or you choose progress. You don't get to have both. And on that, I'm going to end with a quote from W. Clement Stone, which says that greatness comes from those who develop a burning desire to achieve high goals. Again, it's this word desire comes back again, because it's a desire that pushes you forward to go through against whatever challenges that come along your way. So on that note, I'm going to end the presentation and open it up for questions.
It's sincere. No, that was amazing. That was amazing, brother. Thank you so much. I'm just sitting here as you're going through it, just reflecting, learning a lot. But I'm gonna not talk too much because I tend to do that a lot. I'm gonna let the audience, ask questions. I have Nay Otefor. Sorry if I'm butchering your name. My apologies. Thank you for reminding me of the excuse barrier. I'm here because I got sick and tired of my own excuses. Nay, if you don't mind, what are some of the excuses you've been experiencing? The goal right here is not for us to judge anybody, but for us to open up a platform where we can help us navigate these different barriers that we are having, and see how we can help you all, scale through some of those barriers. So if you're able to share, that would be great. If not, I can move on to the next person. I think I have somebody else raise their hand.
Thank you for letting me talk, Tenny. I was just waiting for you to stop.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Thank you so much. And we'd like to see your beautiful face too, if you don't mind.
Unfortunately, I'm not in a place right now where I can share.
Okay, that's fine.
I was just moved when Leslie was doing the presentation, because personally, I really got sick and tired of my own excuses. I have made excuses for myself for years and years and years. And I figured out a way to come up with so many reasons why I couldn't do the things that I want to do. So every time that I set a goal for myself, I practically sabotage it. And I'll make all kinds of excuses. Oh, I'm not making enough money to be able to do X, Y, and Z. Oh, I don't have enough time to do X, Y, and Z. Oh, I got sick and tired of the excuses. If I want to start listing the excuses, I would go on and on and on. So I just got touched when Leslie talked about the barrier of excuses. And I was here raising my hand and singing guilty as charged, because I know I had been doing that to myself until it got to a point where I said, no, it cannot be this bad if others are doing it, they're achieving it, and I'm seeing results from other people that, like he rightly said at the beginning of the presentation, I could tell that they're not the smartest people in the blog or the shoppers too on the shed, but they're doing amazing things. So I kept asking myself that, okay, how come these people are able to achieve this? They're able to do this and that. And I'm here educated. So I thought, and I can't do anything. So I started realizing that the reason why I can't do the things that I'm striving or aspiring to do is because I'm making too many excuses. So thank you so much. I really, really enjoyed this presentation, and I'm hoping that I can keep growing from here. Thank you guys so much.
You're so welcome. And so that is the importance of what we're doing here, coming together and sharing experiences, a mindset, and some of the things we're doing to the next level.
Tenny, I'm just
thanks
gonna
for
add some.
insight.
I'm just gonna make a comment to that, and again, it goes back to that statement that I made that your subconscious mind is very, very insidious, right? When you start hearing all those excuses coming, knowing you're pushing against a comfort zone, that your subconscious mind is trying to keep you over there, right? And if you do not know this, these excuses are very, very good excuses that will keep you there. You have to push against. You have to go against and start recognizing. And when you do that, one time and you see, wait, that was just an excuse. Whatever the story that I was telling myself is not real. Now you believe it the more you do it. So those excuses will come up, push against them, and you're going to see some great results.
Especially if in your heart, deep in your heart, you know you're doing the right thing. Deep in your heart, you know you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. Just push through it. You'll be all right. And then we have John A. So what was XSITE biggest fear going into multifamily, and how did you tackle these fears?
When we started this journey, every fear you could think of I had was my biggest fear. Every fear you could think of. I'm sure some of you over here are wondering, are probably having some of the same fears. Even to present on a forum like this, I was scared of. Then the whole idea of buying $1 million property, like, where are we going to get that money from? When we started, it was Tenny and I, two African immigrants. We're looking around us, we're like, we don't know anybody that has $1 million. Where are we going to go raise $6 million from? So these numbers can be very, very scary if you're starting off from a point of not having much, if you don't have the money yourself. Even if you have the money yourself, sometimes thinking about going and buying, for example, if you have $6 million, the thought of going and buying $100 million property can be very foreign to you, because the zone that you are constantly thinking of is that $6 million range, but at the end, I was very grateful for my partner, Mr. Tenny here. For some reason, I don't know what planet he came from, he's not afraid of anything. So I just hung behind that kind of I was just like a little dog and hiding behind Tenny and watching him do stuff and seeing that no bad things are happening from it. And then from that, we started going and doing some of those things ourselves, and then the growth started coming. So there were a lot of fears from.
I can list one
Okay.
big one. One big one that we had was our community. We didn't think our community was going to take us seriously. So because of that, we did not say anything to anybody. We were busy chasing everybody else outside, when we have a community of people that can actually help us achieve what we're trying to go, or build a community that we can all come together and buy these big assets. So we the first failure we had, like Leslie mentioned earlier, was we're supposed to raise $500,000 for a deal, and we raised $0. That was our first big failure. And like he said, we could have been like, you know what, let's not do this anymore, let's back off. Or let's continue to move forward. And what was some of the lessons we learned from? We realized that a community, if you have a community and you're able to deep in your heart, knowing that you're providing them with great value and it's needed in that space, then you just keep going, because like he said, with as much excuses as you want, if you know that your goals are bigger than your fear, you can basically withstand any kind of obstacle. So that was one of the biggest obstacles we had, coming to the realization that our community can be behind us and not be scared to share with them. So we were able to get over that, and then this is where we are right now. So then who else? I have somebody, Bernard raised his hand. Please go ahead. Bernard, if not, I'm going to go to somebody was asking, Leslie, great presentation. What books or resources do you recommend for mindset?
So there are a lot of great books out there. One very great book that is highly recommended is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. That's a good book to get anybody started. I also like, I happen to like Vishen Lakiani, his book, The Code of the Extraordinary Mind. That's another great book. So you could start on those two books. And I right here in my little book cabinet, I have more than 100 and something books. So sometimes I struggle with telling you exactly what book, but feel free to reach out to me. And from talking to you, I'll be able to identify what book you probably need at the stage of the growth that you're in. So I love talking about this stuff. So feel free to reach out to me and we can have a conversation and I can recommend some more books for you. But starting with those two, Think and Grow Rich and Code of the Extraordinary Mind.
And what we can do for everybody that's on the call is we can include some resources to some of the books that we've read that have actually helped paradigm. We can add some of those books in our communication because we're recording this and we're going to send out all the recording to everybody. So we're going to include some of those recommendations that you can read to kind of actually help change your paradigm a little bit.
Tenny, can I talk?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, Leslie, I've got two questions. One of is the consistency and be obsessed about what you do, right? My question about that is, how did you guys tread your balance with your day-to-day life and how to not lose or get stressed up or not lose the balance and lose the focus? And the other thing is, what language did you guys devise to create a paradigm shift in convincing this community about your direction you guys were trying to go? That's it. Thanks.
So I'll give you like some context to it, Bern. So over the last 3 years, all three of us, we've had kids. We've had kids over the last 3 years, and at no point in time did we ever stop. Tenny, I remember he was having his last baby a few months ago, and our website crashed, and he actually had to leave the labor room to figure that out. So I'm just giving that as a context, and here is the reason why we do that. It's the reason, the why that you put behind your goal that gives you that extra energy to push forward. If your goal is just for you to make $1 million for you to take and go hang somewhere, it has to be something that is powerful enough to draw you there. We started this company because we identify a need in our community, and we were angry and passionate and asking ourselves, why are members of our community not having access to this? This is something that we're so passionate about, that we want to do. That is our driving force. The why behind your goal is what drives you forward. Now, if you do not have a strong enough why, waking up early in the morning to get some stuff done, it's probably not going to be good enough. One of the things that we did when we started, I was working full-time and overtime, not just full-time. And one of the things that I did is I started waking up very early in the morning. You have to give up some stuff. You have to give up stuff of lower value so that you open up the space for stuff of higher value. So I had to give up anything else, that activity that I was doing outside that didn't have to do with me growing my business or taking care of my family, right? So in order to do that, I had to wake up 4 a.m. every morning, spend 2 hours working on business, then go to the day job, then come back from the day job and spend more time working on business. Then you go to bed early, and the weekends but it's amazing what happens, Brent, when you set that goal and you have that strong enough why, you start finding time. Like you start seeing time in activities that you did not know time existed. Like one of the things that we do is like, if I'm doing something that is cleaning out the house, I'm listening to a book. I'm fortifying my mind by listening to a book on mindset, or I'm listening to a lot of stuff on YouTube. So there's a lot of time during the day is you just got to find a strong enough why attach it to your goal that will keep you moving forward.
Absolutely, there's no balance. There's no balance. You know, your why is strong enough, you just do it. It's as simple as that.
And the second one.
And what was the second question again?
The second one is, how did you guys walk through this paradigm shift of like convincing somebody who doesn't seize your angle of what you're coming to?
Oh, we did not. Can I take that one?
Yeah, you
We
go
did
ahead.
not convince anybody. We just kept going. Because the thing is, just think about it. Everybody in this call right now wants to own real estate. Everybody wants to own real estate. But what if you can help them own real estate without the headache of it? That's a huge problem that we can solve. We realized that opportunity and we're like, what if we can do it? And we went out to a lot of, like Leslie mentioned, a lot of these conferences. We observed that a lot of other communities are coming together to get it done. And us, I'm Nigerian. If you've listened to a lot of stuff that happened in the Nigerian community, like Nigerians, oh, don't want to mess with them. But guess what? Nigerians and a lot of African folks in the United States are the most educated. And individually, they're elites in everything they do. They make a lot of money as well. But guess what? Everybody's doing it by themselves. We were like, well, we're going to start. We're just going one person at a time, one person at a time, one person at a time. And then with time, when people saw that we were not going anywhere, we're not going away, we're going to keep doing this thing until people realize that we're trying to help them. Then that was what it was. Like Leslie mentioned, presentation. When you sit down on this presentation, when we first started, you sit down on this presentation and you start telling people, hey, give me $50,000 and let's go buy this apartment building. Don't just be looking at you like this. Great, dude, are you okay? Let me give you my $50,000. For what? You know? Because at that point, we were thinking they were doing us a favor, right? We were thinking to take their money from them. With time, we now realize that the reverse. Let me give you guys an example. In order for us to stay competitive in the Southeast, me and my partners, we made the decision that I need to move down to Charlotte. I sold my house, sold my family during COVID in August of 2020, and then I moved down to Charlotte. That is a big why, because I know that I need this. And in order for us to compete, somebody has to be down here. So I moved down here, and guess what? We're getting the results right now. And that is the why. And once we know this substantial we're bringing to our community, we don't have to convince anybody. You just perceive and see what we're doing. And we continue to stay true to those words that we put out to our community. So that's how we kind of just navigated that. I don't know, Leslie, if you wanted to add something.
Yeah, so we educate, we don't convince, we educate, we present this asset class to you and say this is something that you could take advantage of. And it's been amazing, the light bulb, the response that we're getting. To be honest, we knew there was a need, but we did not realize how much there was a need. There's not just a need for the asset class, there's like a underlining need for us to come together, to be able to work together to do things. So a lot of our elders, our senior brothers, uncles, fathers that are part of this community, and that is what they keep repeating to us, that there's a high need for what you guys are doing, bringing this community together for us to be able to leverage that power of a community to grow. So through education, just start educating people about this, if this is something you want to do, and the right people will come. If you get the first few partners and you do right by them, you do what you say you're going to do, the community is going to keep growing.
Absolutely. I have a question. I live in multifamily in BK. Where is that? Is it Bangkok or Brooklyn? What 760? I'm a nurse. Is pursuing real estate doable even if I have that kind of debt clouding me? I'm not sure what your question is. You have a multifamily asset that's what, 760K, or you have a debt? That's Casey Franco. If you don't mind, you can just come on and ask the question, please. If not, I'm going to move on. And then congrats on all your accomplishments to date and not forgetting mindset and worldview. We remain
She said,
unhealthy
she said
opportunity.
debt. She said debt.
That she has the, it depends on the amount of debt that you have, right? You can still pursue a multifamily, and it depends on the kind of asset that you're going after. So again, by no means we are any financial advisor, but again, you go working on your perspective, you got to ask, okay, how can I, right? It's not if it is doable. When you ask your mind how, then ideas start coming up. And one other key tool is like the questions you ask yourself will determine the results that you get. So learn to answer and ask empowering questions like, how can I? That's a very good one that you could apply, and start writing some ideas down, and you'll be surprised that you're able to do it.
Thank you so much, Sincere. And then we made an helping as well for now.
So
Gentlemen, can I jump in here?
So Bernard, we already answered the question, Bernard, about life work and balance.
Yeah, go ahead, sir. Jump in. You can jump in, sir.
Yeah, Les, terrific job. Tenny, you guys are the real deal.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Julius is not here. I'll just make a couple of comments. One is, you talk about failures. You've not had failures, you've had lessons.
That's true.
So you need to modify that. And then somebody asked about books. You talked about starting with getting to your why. Let me suggest a book by Simon Sinek. And that book says, Start with Why.
Yeah.
Okay. Everybody here is here for a reason. This is a room that you've chosen to belong to and to come into. That's the first step in determining what your future would be. You chose your future by spending this time here. So I want to commend everybody that's put in the time to do this. Here's the reality. Real estate is a real asset. Real estate is one of the topmost generators of wealth in this world. It allows you leverage. It allows you appreciation in this country, at least, and in other countries of the world, but in this country also. It gives you a tax benefit that most other asset classes don't give you. It allows you to transfer wealth because you transfer your basis at death and you don't pay taxes. So you've got, these guys are doing a phenomenal job and they've learned a lot of lessons. They've created a community that is truly beneficial. I know them, and that's the reason I'm saying this. Okay, keep up the good work, guys, and more power to you.
Thank you so much.
Good to see you again.
Thank you so much.
Hey, great job, guys.
Yeah, so we have a question from Sean Jones. How did you learn how to acquire and evaluate multifamily properties?
We just, we made the decision that we're going to get into multifamily, the next thing we asked is, okay, who do we need to learn from? When we started, first thing popped up, there was some guy on Facebook that said he's teaching how to do multifamily properties. He's selling a course for $2,000. We bought it. Took his course.
That is $3,500.
$3,500. We took the plunge and started taking action to what he was doing, right? So I say this to suggest that don't spend your time thinking too much, over analyzing, right? Take action. We took action, and even when we didn't know much, the little that we knew, we took action upon, right? And like Dr. Kanu said, we learned lessons along the way, right? And one of the lessons we learned is with this guy, he's not really giving us enough information. We might need more teachers. So we invested in ourselves. This is not a journey that you could get in and start without making some kind of investment in yourself. You're going to have to invest in yourself, not just in time. You're going to invest in yourself financially as well, because it's a journey of growth. But once you put that financial investment in yourself and you're able to grow, then you find yourself in a position where you're able to give tremendous amount of value to more people.
And Sean, I want to just throw this in there. So one of the big gap we observed that's making a lot of people not take action was they analyze this and they cannot make sense of it. So Sensei here took him upon himself to learn how to evaluate these businesses. Because when you buy an apartment building, you're buying a business. So when we realized that people were not teaching folks how to evaluate these businesses, that if you want to learn, you have to go and join a mentorship program, and they still not give you enough insight. We say as part of our platform of giving to our people that are part of our platform, we're going to start an underwriting class free. And that class is for you to start from zero to become hero when it comes to underwriting a deal. For example, you can pick up that financial, go through the training, plug it in your system, and then you can figure out if it's a profitable business or not. Like, this is something you can go do by yourself. Our abundance mindset is not for us to learn this and keep it to ourselves. We want to teach you as much as possible so that you can be empowered to go and do it yourself or with your own community. Because guess what? If at one point you become successful, we are successful, we can all come together to go buy bigger properties. And that's what everybody else is doing. And I think we can do it as well. So drop your email, Sean. Miles is going to add it to the underwriting class. It's free. It's every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Leslie spend an hour and a half. Him and his brother, who is part of our underwriting class, who's our underwriter. He's gonna they're gonna walk you guys through the different process on how we underwrite our deals and stuff like that. And again, like I said, it's for free. All right, that's how we evaluate our deals. And Leslie, can you go ahead and lead the questions? Let me talk to my son real quick.
Absolutely. The next question is, can you guys put your information in the chat if you don't mind? I would love to connect with you guys on a personal note. Absolutely. Mouse is going to drop our emails there for you to reach out to us. And anybody else that wants to reach out, please feel free to reach out to us. Again, we appreciate you being part of this community and spending time with us this evening. So however way we could be of value to you, we are open to it. And my brother, Terry English, said, I remember Leslie talking to me about real estate syndication. I wasn't aware of this, so I educated myself. And I've invested in 3 projects so far. The plus was that he and his partners look and sound like me. And it has been a worldwide experience three times so far. So Terry, we appreciate you, brother. We appreciate your trust in us. And let's keep growing together. Yeah, so we have some emails there. Miles, please make sure everybody is added. You can keep dropping your emails in the chat if you want to get added to our underwriting class. Again, this is every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Welcome you to join and participate.
So what was the second book? First was Napoleon Hill. What was the second one?
Code of the Extraordinary Mind by Vishen Lakhiani. And Dr. Kano also says Start with Why by Simon Sinek. And that's a very good book too.
That's a good one too.
Yeah.
And then somebody said, can you guys put your information in the chat if you don't mind?
Yeah,
I would love to connect with you guys on a personal note.
Mouse put it in, so.
Okay, great. Man, I'm trying to catch up. It's busy.
This is a great, and anybody, if you're in the conversation right now, if you're facing any challenges, like if you're trying to do anything and you keep having all these excuses or something that comes up, feel free to jump up and talk about it. And we could share, we have tons of experiences that we've gone through that deal with all this stuff, and it's not unique to us. Right? Anybody that has gone through any kind of growth, that has stepped away from where they are to move to another level of growth, go through the same experiences too. Go through this discomforts, all these challenges that come along the way. So, and it will shut you down. It has shut down so many people before, and if you're not aware of it, it will shut you down. Again, go ahead, Tenny.
I was going to add that we don't claim to know it all.
No.
Till today, we're still failing. No, we're still acquiring lessons. We're still acquiring lessons. So if there's something you want to contribute to this conversation, please come online and say and share with the community, because your experience is absolutely different from the ones that we've gone through. And as we continue to grow, we're going to continue to go through these experiences. And as we build it, we're going to continue to share with the community. So We still have a lot of time. So please feel free if you want to come on video. This is part of the networking piece right now. Share your experiences, what you do, how we can help you, or if somebody else can jump in and help you out, we would love to do that, since we all cannot be in the same room at the same time right now.
Tim Cardwell is a buy and hold investor out of Long Island, New York. Tim, definitely reach out. I think we're gonna be in Long Island soon, so we'd definitely love to touch base at some point.
Great, definitely. That sounds good.
All right.
Actually, you know what? I'll throw a question in there because I need a bit of advice when it comes to, because, like, you know, I'm a new investor, so, you know, I'm always looking to, you know, connect with different people that's in the real estate space, you know, obviously to, you know, gain more clarity on exactly what I need to do, you know, to be able to get to the next level. But so I'm in Long Island, New York, and, you know, I'm looking to expand in Connecticut and looking to, you know, acquire a 3-unit. Now, I did have a 3-unit that I was looking at, you know, been talking to some lenders, and, you know, I have the money to acquire the property, but the only, you know, hiccup that I'm running into is, you know, getting that pre-approval because of my credit. And I was looking to, you know, like, what are some other things that, you know, I'll be able to do to get over that hump? Because, you know, I'm already in process of fixing my credit, and, you know, like, you know, I have all of that in process already, but sometimes that can be a little time consuming. And I'm looking to acquire a property, you know, at least by the end of this year or the beginning of next year. Like, that's really one of my main goals that I focus on every single day. You know, but, you know, I'm just running into, you know, the pre-approval process. So, you know, I mean, at first I was thinking, okay, if I'm having a bit of problem getting, you know, approved for a loan right now, maybe I can go the seller financing route, or, you know, that's what I'm here for, to get some more advice on some other, you know, roads that I'll be able to take. But I definitely know one road that I can take is, you know, maybe doing seller financing. But, you know, just really just been trying to connect with, you know, people with more experience so I can be able to get some advice so I can get over this hump.
Yeah, seller financing is actually probably the best option if you could do that. And it depends too on the size of the deal that you're buying. Just in this climate with the interest rates as high as they are, using hard money might be very costly. So seller financing might be your best bet. And the other bet you could do is bring in a partner.
Yeah,
right?
bring in a partner.
Yeah, bring in a partner that has the credit and stuff. I'm sure there are a lot of people here that are looking to partner with somebody that will be boots on the ground, that will do the work. So remember this, like, if you want to go fast, you go by yourself, and you want to go far, you go with others. We all believe in the power of partnership. So that could be one thing to leverage and really scale.
Okay.
You have the money, the partner have the credit. You bring it together, you get the deal. Simple as that.
Okay, definitely.
And before I forget, this is very rude of us that we're talking about opportunity and we're not sharing about the latest opportunity that we have under contract right here in Baltimore. This is sometimes we get carried away in these conversations that we forgot to share some important stuff. So we currently have a 140 unit apartment building in Canton, Baltimore, Canton neighborhood of Baltimore, and it's open for accredited investors. So if you're looking for an opportunity to be able to earn your income passively, to invest in real estate and don't have to do the work yourself, this is a great opportunity. We have a small amount of equity left to raise on this. So if you have any interest, please let us know. The returns on this deal, it's a 3-year hold, looks something like this. If you were to, the projected returns, again, these are projections, nothing is guaranteed. If you were to invest $100,000, you'd be getting $6,000 a year from the cash flow. And on year 3, on stabilization, when we exit, you get a chunk of that appreciation, and your total returns in 3 years will be about $155,000. Mouse is going to drop a link on the chat. If you're interested in learning more about this opportunity, click on that link to sign up for opportunities, and we'll be happy to talk to you. So this is a great opportunity that we have going up, and it should fill up soon. So if you have any interest, let us know. We'll send you a link to review it in more detail, and then we'll talk more about it. So I'm just going to let it.
And this is open for only accredited investors.
Correct. All right. Back to the conversation.
And out of here, if you reach out to any one of us, our contact information is on the chat. If you have any question at any time after this conversation, just reach out. If we don't know what we're going to tell you, if we know what we will share with you. And if we have the resources, we'll point you in that direction. Especially when it comes to building a real estate asset like what we're doing. So I was in Fort Lauderdale for the week that just passed. 6 a.m. in the morning, I went and walked by the beach, and I saw a lot of condos, big condos, worth multi-billions, right? So I called Leslie that morning. Unfortunately, he did not pick up. The reason why I called him that morning was to say, dude, these are things that people own, right? Like, what do they do to own it? And all we were thinking after we had a conversation later is again, the lens. How are you seeing the world? Are you seeing the world like, hey, people owns this and they come with a community of investors to get it done? Or is it possible? Let me just give up. Let me not even worry about it, So those are some of the things that we do to stretch our mind and look at possibilities that are available out there to every one of us.
And if we had not done that mental work, right, Tenny, you would have been on the beach just looking at that property like a tourist and looking at the sun and the water and not even seeing that there's an opportunity out there.
Right.
Yeah. So that is the power of this, of doing the psychology piece along your journey, because all around you, you're surrounded by opportunity. But the question is, what do you see? Right. And some of those practices that we mentioned, those are some of the things that we've done that help us to be able to see this from that perspective of opportunity rather than a challenge or something that is not meant for us.
So I think what we usually do at this time is if you're on video, Mr. Mr. Kano, if you can share with the audience what you do, because we would like to, if you come on video, we would like you to kind of share with the audience what you do. So if there's an opportunity for people to collaborate, we'd love to see that happen as well. So we kind of have like 9 minutes left. So we'd like.
Well, thank you very much. That's very kind of you, Tenny. We run a family office. It's an aggregation of experts and expertise. We talk about, our friends here have talked about how. Normally you amplify your capabilities the most by focusing on what you do best. These guys have become real experts, and the reason they're sharing in this community is because they've become experts in the multifamily space. Expertise does matter. If you're going to amplify your financial results and your life results, you want to focus on what you do best. You want to then outsource more or less, or surround yourself with those who do what I say in your sleep. I mean, the things that keep you up at night, there are experts that do those things in their sleep. If you surround yourself with that expertise, you will amplify your results substantially. We are an aggregation of experts in tax planning, in risk mitigation, in wealth management, in legal advisory services, and business advisory services. We have experts all over the world, particularly all over the country in these specific areas, helping our clients, surrounding them and giving them access to this kind of expertise in very specialized areas. We're in Cincinnati, Ohio. We're a registered investment advisory firm. And like I said, these guys are a class act. There's no question in my mind. Part of my responsibility to our clients is to put them in a better place. We're not going to take anybody on that we're not going to put in a better place if they are basically in our responsibility as fiduciaries. I'll tell you this, as a firm, we've done some work around these guys. I know Julius, Tenny, Les, these are good guys who essentially have had the conviction and have put basically that conviction to work. What you're seeing here is conviction in execution, and it's execution excellence. These are these guys are the real deal. If you want to,
thank you so much.
Like they said, they are a good place to basically kind of put your trust and confidence.
Thank you so much. That means a lot.
That means a lot coming from you. Thank you so much. We appreciate the vote of confidence. Thank you so much.
And Terry English, you want to go next? We got you on the screen.
Mr. English, you're muted, I think.
No, can you hear me, Leslie?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay. Leslie and I work together many years now, and I know Dr. Julius Oni also. And I remember Leslie talking to me about this years ago. Real estate syndication. Okay, and I thought I was smart. I have dabbled in real estate and owned over 12 different homes at one time. But I never knew about real estate syndication. So I learned some more about it. Leslie kept on talking. And this is my third deal, my third investment. And so far, I've been very happy. And it's amazing, Leslie looking like me, something like me, and the community and everyone else that is like-minded. There's so many of us that are like-minded, and we are all here. So I think that's a plus in itself. So many of us that are like-minded, and when you think that you are all alone, you are not. So far, it's been very worthwhile for me.
Thank you so much, Mr. English. Is there anything you want the community to help you with? You're looking for something else, or somebody that can help you with something? This is a place where you can drop it.
Well, I want to buy a beach house out in Hilton Head, South Carolina, that we all can go and form an LLC and just buy it together. So maybe whoever is interested, we can do that.
I like beach houses too.
Yes.
English. You see,
can rent it out.
Say that out of you.
We can rent it out for 15 to 20,000 per week.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, well, that's good to know. If you're a real estate agent or broker, and you're in the South Carolina area, that's where you can help out for sure. And if you don't mind coming on video, just share your story or whatever you like to share with the group. We'd like to learn about you, and then see if there's a way we can add value to you as well. Sure.
And again, this is a community, so share. We encourage sharing with each other because that's the way we create value, and that's the way we create.
I have a question for everyone. Elena, you say you have a question for everyone? You want to?
Yes, and good evening, everyone.
Hi.
My question is, if you could share experiences and techniques, how do your best ways to keep promises to yourself? So say, when I need to do something for my clients, I will do it. I've learned it. Now it's like automatic. However, with myself, I still find that I don't do things I promise to myself. And that creates a level of like mistrust to myself. And again, I was just looking at everything we were discussing today, and I find that it's one of the most important things to overall to perform at the highest level. So if you could share how you do it, the best ways, like if you promise yourself to do this, how do you carry on? Thank you.
Oh, I have one experience that we did when we started is we signed up for, so you got to find something, right? And like maybe like one thing that you could do that will have an effect on other parts of your life, and hold on to it, do it consistently. Find an accountability partner. That is very important. Find an accountability partner to hold, because when you have somebody else that is holding you accountable, you want to do that stuff frequently. One thing that we did is we signed up for a 90-day, 1 mile a day run, right? That we're going to run 1 mile a day for 90 days straight during the summer of 2019. And we did it like for
Monday through Sunday.
Monday through Sunday, every day, no excuses. We ran for at least a mile. And that's how I became a runner, right? Because that habit locked in. But what that did is, because I was getting up very early in the morning to go and do the run. Now I had to get up, I had to get time to do some other stuff before I go do my running. And by running, you get more energy. Now you have more strength, and then you feel more healthy, and then you have the time to go and do other things. So there's a lot of research that has been done around habit forming. There are a lot of books that talk about creating habits, like Atomic Habits or a bunch of other books. And the numbers vary, but anywhere from 66 days in a row and up, from what I've read, if you're able to do one thing consistently for 66, find something simple and do it consistently for at least 60, I'll say 90 days, do it consistently for 90 days without failing. You build that trust in yourself. You could do that, hold yourself accountable by finding an accountability partner. And if there's anybody on here that wants to be Elena's accountability partner, please let her know. And the other thing that you could do is find a calendar, like one of these whiteboard calendars that have like boxes. And every day you do that habit, just mark an X. That simple act of marking an X and seeing those train tracks going away, right? Like across the board, it helps you, encourage you to want to do it, because if you miss that spot, it's like it becomes a big deal. So accountability partner and document what you're doing. Those strategies can really help you. Don't go for something really, really challenging for the very first thing that you're doing. Find something really simple. Maybe it's just as simple as drinking a liter of water every morning when you wake up, and you do it consistently for 90 days. And now you start seeing the changes in your body, you start seeing the changes that are going on in your mind because you're doing that. And it encourages you to want to do more stuff, and then you develop that trust in yourself. And I'll highly encourage you to listen to David's content, because he talks a lot about that stuff as well.
Yeah, so I'm going to add two things. One, David, Leslie is a David. I started listening to David through Leslie, but we are not selling his program. We're not his publicist or anything. We're not affiliated with him by any means possible. These are resources that we've used that have actually helped us. And that's why we're openly sharing it with our community, that if you tap into it, it might help you. And then one last thing I want to say for Elena is why. That book that Mr. Kano recommended is a really good one. Because if you understand your why doesn't necessarily need to be just because of you. It could be your kids, it could be a church, it could be charity, it could be anything. But if you're able to identify what that why is, it makes you want to wake up early in the morning to get it done, or whenever you stay up late at night to get it done. So if you find that, I think that will help a lot. Sharon Johnson, how you doing today? Good to see you. You're muted.
You're muted, Sharon.
You hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So yes, I actually have been in real estate investing for about 1.5 years. I went through RE Mentor. I met you guys about a year. So I'm passively invested in a 40 unit in North Carolina. And I also, I partnered in an investment in North Carolina, and I invested in 2 properties with Viking. So I'm actually looking for properties of my own. Do you guys ever sponsor people? If the property,
we can have that conversation.
Okay. That's something that I'm interested
in.
And
we can in the direction of how you can find those assets too, as well, the ones you're looking for.
What'd you say?
So we can point you in the direction of how you can find whatever kind of assets you're looking for anywhere in the US.
So just reach out to us with what you have, or kind of give us like an idea of what the numbers are, the amount of sponsorship that you're looking at, and we'll be happy to look. And if we cannot sponsor it ourselves, we'll point you in the right direction.
Okay.
That would be great. That would be great. Okay.
Right,
Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate you.
No problem.
Right.
Thank you.
Tenny, is 7:30. So
yeah, I just want to keep going, man. There's a lot of people still on, and we really do appreciate everybody that's on. These are things that we just want to keep going, keep sharing as much as we can, and trying to see how it is. Like, for example, Sharon came on, boom. There's a value right there that she can take and try to run with. If somebody else needs help, boom, we can come share. If we don't know, to tell you, hey, we don't know it, but there's a way we can help you on the other end. And if this platform is not a great platform for you to come, if you're not comfortable, just reach out, send us email, call us, whatever. We'll try our possible best to be as helpful as possible. All right. But yeah, like Leslie said, it's 7:33. We have to wrap it up. Thank you all so much. I'll let Leslie give the last parting.
Before we wrap it up, I see Kingsley Malcolm has his hands up. Anything you want to share?
Yeah, guys, I just want to say, man, this has been, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah. that this has been great. Leslie, we've talked a couple times in the past, and I think what you guys are doing has absolute value for the community. And I think that, you know, the community that you guys are putting together here, I think that will be a world changer. Actually, I really think that, you know, I thought about doing something like this similar. I actually attempted to do something like this, and it wasn't a failure, it was a lesson. And actually one of the partners recommended me to what you guys are doing. And so I think that everything happens for a reason. And I'm excited to, you know, spend more time with you guys and see what we can build together.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Kingsley. Thank you, Kingsley. We had a great conversation. I look forward to interfacing with you again. And our next event is the first Monday of the month. That will be in January. And we'll be sharing details about that event as well. We look forward to seeing you. I cannot say how grateful I am to you. I cannot overexpress how grateful I am for you all, for staying and listening to us, for engaging in our content, for being part of this community, for seeing value in this platform that we build. If there's any way that we can help you in this journey to your growth, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We truly appreciate you guys this evening. And despite all the issues with the technical, with the hacker that we had and the Zoom, you guys stayed along and engaged with the content. We appreciate you guys. And on behalf of our CEO, Dr. Julius, my co-founder, Tenny Tolofari, our team members, Miles Hill, April, Heather Piper, and Macy Price, and Manny Awesome. We love you guys. We appreciate you. Thank you and have a wonderful night.
Thank you so much. Have a good evening.